In this video, how to obtain residency in Costa Rica. Costa Rica is one of the most popular destinations in Latin America for relocation and especially for retirement. So in this video, we're going to break down all the different paths to residency, exactly how to get a residency permit in Costa Rica step by step with all the practical information you need to know to make it yours and get that residency card in your hands. This is a no-nonsense guide, so let's dive right in. Costa Rica's residency process is straightforward. It's relatively simple. Part of the game is figuring out which visa option makes the most sense for you because the country offers several visa options, primarily for retirees, investors, or those with family ties to the country. Residency comes in two flavors: temporary, which is valid for 2 years and renewable, and permanent residency, which you can apply for after a few years and lasts indefinitely. Temporary residency is the starting point for most, and you'll need to pick the right category based on your situation. So in this video, we'll explore some of the most common paths: the Pensionado or pensioner's visa, the Rentista visa, also known as the passive income visa, the Inversionista visa, also known as the investor visa, as well as family-based residency. So starting with the Pensionado or retiree visa, which is probably the one that we do the most, this is perfect for those over age 45 with a pension. You need a guaranteed monthly income of at least $1,000 for life, typically from Social Security, a government pension, a private annuity, or a military pension is pretty common too. This income must be deposited into a Costa Rican bank account, often the Banco de Costa Rica or Banco Nacional, and converted to colones. And we'll help you, and our lawyers will help you structure this so that your money from the US flows into Costa Rica in the way that the government wants to see it. You'll need a pension letter or a Social Security statement apostilled in your home country, proving the income. Other requirements include a valid passport with at least 6 months validity, a clean FBI criminal background check, apostilled and less than 6 months old, and a birth certificate, also apostilled. All documents must be translated into Spanish by a certified Costa Rican translator, which we'll do for you as part of the residency package. You'll also need passport photos, proof of health insurance, which is important, and enrollment in Costa Rica's CCSS healthcare system and a medical certificate. The total cost is only a couple $1,000, but it depends on your family size as well. If you're adding spouses, if you're adding kids, they can be included as dependents. So kids under age 25 can be included as dependents. And if you have children or dependents that are over age 25, there's still a way to do it. There's a solution, maybe a different visa path that we can get for them as well. Probably worth mentioning at this point in time that MyLatinLife is a full-scale immigration and citizenship consultancy focused on Latin America. So we can help you get residency in Costa Rica via any residence path. There's a link in the description where you can book a call with us. You can be speaking to us as early as this week. We're going to answer all your burning questions. We'll make a holistic plan. We'll weigh the best options for you, build you a custom strategy, and ultimately work with you for 3 to 6 to 12 months to put that residency card in your hands and smooth your life into, residency and life abroad. So link in the description to book a call with us. Moving on to our next residency category, the Rentista visa. This is for non-retirees with passive income. You need $2,500 monthly or $60,000 upfront for 2 years deposited in a Costa Rican bank. This can come from investments, rental properties, or royalties, anything legal and verifiable. For example, you could deposit $60K in a Banco Nacional account and draw $2,500 monthly. Or if you have some sort of rental property in the US, that can potentially work as well. Again, Pensionado, you're looking at $1,000 a month. Rentista visa, you're looking at $2,500 a month. And these numbers tend to go up over time, tracking with inflation. Documents you'll need include bank statements, income contracts. Everything needs to be apostilled, basically similar documents to the Pensionado visa that we mentioned before. Unlike the Pensionado, the Rentista doesn't necessarily require lifelong income, but you must prove the funds are sustainable for at least 2 years. So you can either transfer the full $60K to Costa Rica, or there's a way we could essentially structure the money so that, in a structured way, you're receiving at least $2,500 a month for 2 years, and we can help with that as well. The third category I wanted to talk about in this video is the Inversionista or investor visa, and this is for those willing to invest in Costa Rica. The minimum investment is $150K, $150,000 in 2025, which is actually down from $200K pre-2022. So they actually brought it down a little bit to make it more competitive. And you can invest in real estate. You can buy a single family home if you want, which is really attractive. You can invest in businesses or a government approved project like reforestation. Real estate is probably the most popular. You can buy a condo in Tamarindo. You could buy a farm in Alajuela up in the mountains. But the property's appraised value must hit $150K. So it's not necessarily the amount that you pay for the property or the amount you wire over, but you also have to consider what the property is appraised at by the government, because often there's a disconnect or just a different number that the government appraises it versus how much you end up paying for it in the negotiation. So that's something to keep in mind. For a business, you need investment proof like a property deed or a bank deposit. You need a business plan, proof of capital. You need to show that equity verified by a Costa Rican accountant. So you could potentially spin up a Costa Rican company, seed that with $150K in capital, have a little bit of activity flowing through that business. You can make it sort of a marketing company, or it sort of depends if you actually intend on doing business in Costa Rica, or it would be something more of a business that it still needs to have substance, but we can sort of structure it in a particular way. The costs are going to be higher due to the investment complexity and the fact that you need to spin up a Costa Rican company, which takes time as well. However, the Inversionista visa, historically in Latin America, they receive some benefits where maybe you can have less physical presence in the country. Maybe you're more likely to receive permanent residency. So there are benefits to doing Inversionista compared to other residency pathways, okay? And you must maintain the investment during your temporary residency, but you can sell after securing permanent status, or you can basically like fold up the company after you get permanent residency in 2 years. The fourth category I want to talk about is family-based residency, also known as family reunification or vínculo in Spanish. And this is for those with close ties to Costa Rican or parents. If you are married to a Costa Rican citizen, if you have a Costa Rican parent, or are a minor child of a resident, you qualify. If you do birth tourism and you have a child in Costa Rica, that will also qualify. That's pretty popular with our clients and in our community as well. A lot of people want to have dual citizen children. So if you're American, Canadian, whatever, you can go have your child in Costa Rica. That child's going to be a dual citizen, and then both parents get immediate permanent residency, which is pretty cool. If you're married to a Costa Rican, getting permanent residency by marriage is also a no-brainer. You basically just need to provide the marriage certificate and prove the relationship and provide all the usual documents. This visa is also open to common law partners after 3 years of cohabitation, verified by affidavits and other forms of proof. Quick tip, ensure your marriage certificate is registered in Costa Rica's civil registry, the Registro Civil, or you'll face delays. So those are the 4 types of residency in Costa Rica, depending on what fits the best for your personal situation. So once we determine the right residency for you, how do you apply? Well, we'll set you up with a lawyer who's going to submit your application to the Migraciones office, either in San Jose or in a regional office. You cannot apply from abroad. Costa Rica requires you to be in country, typically on a 90-day tourist visa, which you get on arrival. This is important because you need to be from a country that has visa-free access to Costa Rica. If you're from a country that does not have visa-free access to Costa Rica, like India or something like that, you're not going to be able to apply for residency in Costa Rica. For some of our clients that don't have visa-free, there may be a potential workaround with something like, say, citizenship by investment, where you could get citizenship in a place like Sao Tome and Principe for $90K, and then Sao Tome has visa-free to Costa Rica, and then once you're in Costa Rica on the tourist visa, we can apply for residency then. Now, once you've submitted your application, you're allowed to stay in Costa Rica while you are waiting for your approval. You'll receive a case number, you'll receive a precaria, as it's sometimes called, basically showing proof that you've submitted for residency. So don't feel like you need to leave Costa Rica after 90 days or you're racing against the clock, because you can stay in Costa Rica basically indefinitely once your application is in and you're waiting for the resolution there. A lawyer or facilitator is going to handle all the paperwork, the translations, the appointments. The processing takes 3 to 6 months or more, during which you can't leave Costa Rica for more than 6 months total. So you can, the flip side of what I just said, the flip side is you can submit your application and you can leave and go home essentially until your application is approved. And then once approved, you'll get a DMEX card, which is Costa Rica's residency ID. And we have another video on our channel all about the DMEX card if you're curious, because that's going to be your key to getting a driver's license in Costa Rica, opening bank accounts in Costa Rica, etc. We do have some options of bank accounts you can open in Costa Rica even without residency. We've opened bank accounts for people on tourist visas before. So if you're interested in that, another reason to book a call with us and we can talk about it. Permanent residency is the next step. After 3 years of temporary residency, Pensionado, Rentista, or Inversionista holders can apply for permanent residency, provided you've spent at least 4 months annually in Costa Rica. That's typically what they want to see. The vinculo holders, like spouses of citizens, can apply after 2 years. Okay? You'll need an updated FBI background check or background check from your home country as well when you go for the renewal, so keep that in mind. Permanent residency has no income requirement necessarily, but you must show ties to Costa Rica, like a lease or utility bills. You can't leave for more than 1 year without risking your status, and there are maybe fines in order to keep your status going. But so just keep in mind that in order to maintain your permanent residency status, you should be visiting the country once every year to keep your residency active. Now, you'll be able to apply for citizenship after a number of years as well, and then once you're a citizen, you'll no longer have that physical presence requirement to visit every year. So something else to keep in mind there. Citizenship is possible typically after 7 years of residency. It can be 5 years of residency if married to a Costa Rican. There's also accelerated paths to citizenship for people with Latin American passports. So if you have citizenship from another Latin American country, even if it's by descent, that is a preferred nationality and you'll have a faster path to citizenship. Also, as part of the eligibility for citizenship, you'll need to have conversational Spanish, knowledge of Costa Rican history, and 2 character witnesses. The process takes around a year and includes an interview. Citizenship grants a Costa Rican passport, which is very powerful. It grants visa-free access to around 100. Costa Rica is also a territorial tax country. So it's very tax friendly, both for citizens as well as for residents. And you can make Costa Rica your tax residency and potentially get to a zero tax lifestyle, provided that you structure things in the right way and that you have foreign sourced income. So all your income that you earn outside of Costa Rica is not taxed in Costa Rica. So Costa Rican residency is particularly popular among our Canadian clients or European clients. It's popular among Americans, but Americans have less tax benefits due to the citizenship-based taxation. But for Canadians, Europeans, Australians, etc., this is a really attractive residency because it's a beautiful country. It's somewhere you actually want to live, and you can potentially get to a zero tax lifestyle. So a very, very attractive residency with a path to permanent residency and citizenship. Practical tip: hire a facilitator, hire a lawyer to navigate migraciones quirks, especially for the investment or vinculo cases. MyLatinLife, we're a full-scale immigration consultancy. We can get you residency and citizenship in Costa Rica and bank accounts and companies and other relocation services in Costa Rica. There's a link in the description to book a call with us. If you have any questions, we can answer all your burning questions and ultimately put that residency card in your hands. So that's the complete guide to obtaining residency in Costa Rica. From choosing your visa to securing your DMEX card, these steps will pave the way to your Pura Vida lifestyle. My top takeaway: start early, apostille everything, and track your time in country to lock in permanent residency. 4 months a year for 2 years to get permanent residency is a pretty good deal, especially in a territorial tax country. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Costa Rica and residency options in Latin America. We'll see you in the next video.